So this is podcast number 4 from August the 11th till the 17th. This week was actually kind of rather quiet, really. We didn't do very much during the week, mainly because we're saving up our money until both Shrek and PAX, our last 2 weekends. So during the week I just read, really, lounged around the house. I finished Breaking Dawn finally. It was really good. I really liked the way it all kind of concluded. I felt it kind of copped out at the end with the lack of action, but apparently it's not going to be the end of the series. I read somewhere that it's only these 4 books have been from Bella's perspective, and the next she's going to create another series of books, but from Edward's perspective. But I don't know whether it's going to be the stuff that already happened, like just the same 4 stories, or whether it's going to be from the end of Breaking Dawn onwards, but from Edward's perspective. But I don't know. I don't know if that would work very well, but we'll see. On Friday, I was supposed to be going kayaking with James, but he got stuck at work, and then we didn't have enough time. What with us, we both had to get Ducky a present, and we had to go out for dinner for Ducky. So we met up for lunch, and we went over to Broadway, and we went to a Mexican restaurant, and I had a chimichanga. I call it chumbawamba. I had a chicken one. It was alright. I liked the beans that came with it quite a lot. The chimichanga was not quite as crispy as I would have liked. I would have preferred it to be more like batter. But obviously it's just a tortilla deep fried, so you can't really sort it yourself. But it was quite tasty. The service wasn't very good at all. We had to seat ourselves, and then they sort of brought over our water and walked away. And then she came back. She was like, "What do you want?" And we told her. And then she brought it back, brought the food, and then she waited until we'd finished to come over and ask if everything was okay. Like, well, no, you're supposed to do that in the middle of the meal, because if something wasn't okay, we didn't really have a chance to say so. So we paid and left, and then we went to a bookstore for James to go and look for a present for Ducky, but he never found anything. I got Ducky a card from there. And then we went over to Urban Outfitters, which was quite cool, just sort of shopping around. After that, we went up to Northgate, where James went to get Ducky's present in GameStop, and then he took me home. And then later on, we went out for dinner to place called the Rosebud, which is just around the corner from Frankie's. I've been there for breakfast before, but never for. I think for the breakfast I had pancakes, but the dinner menu was kind of sparse, and for I think it was $8 for andouille sausage. It was literally a sausage about that size, sliced in half. Oh, with some grapes as well. And that was it. So I was kind of underimpressed with that. I wish I'd got the mac and cheese, which I think was actually less, but you got more. So I don't know what that's all about, but I wasn't very impressed with that. And then they were heading out bar hopping afterwards, so Tim and I went home, because obviously I'm not old enough to go out yet. Although Dickie did offer to, instead of going to a bar, that we could go to Gamesworks, which I thought was nice of them, but obviously they wanted to go out drinking, so I wasn't going to say, let's go to Gamesworks and be the big pain in the ass. But so Tim and I went home and watched some Buffy, and then went to bed. On Saturday it was too hot to really do anything, so we just lounged around the house. On Sunday we went to see The Dark Knight, finally, a month after it was released. Before going, I was very sort of excited to see it. I'd read a lot of good things about it. It's it's now the second highest grossing film of all time, behind Titanic. Even overtook Star Wars. So it's obviously been watched a lot. It's quite high up, quite highly reviewed. So I was quite excited to see it. I did think it was good, but I felt like the cynic in me feels like everyone's just kind of overstating it because Heath Ledger's dead and they don't want to be the guy that says the bad thing about him, the dead guy. His performance was very good, but I don't think it's quite Oscar worthy. I mean, all he did was run around acting like a maniac. I could do that. I do that. But no, his performance was very good. I felt the film kind of went on for a bit long. It was like 2.5 hours long, and it added too many things. I think the whole Two-Face storyline could have just been left for another movie, maybe. But no, overall it was pretty good. Although the Two-Face CGI I thought was awful. Tim thought it was really good, but like he's got two faces, and then one side of his face was all like burnt off, but rather than just I wanted it to just be sort of melted kind of, and just kind of scarred, but they decided to go with the fact that like you could see through bits of his cheek, and like this whole like half of his lip was missing, and like his eye was like just an eyeball. There was no eyelid or this bit. So and Tim was like, oh, the eye moved with the other eye even though it was CG, but it's like, but if he had an eye exposed like that, it would burn because you have to blink to water your eye. So it's like after like a minute he'd be like, ow, my eye. So I thought that was a bit fake. While we were at the cinema, Tim saw for the first time the trailer to The Watchmen, which is coming, well, might not be now, but it's supposed to be coming out next spring. And he was all, oh, I can't wait. So I started reading the comic once we got back from The Dark Knight. So far I'm kind of underwhelmed. I don't really get what's going on. It just seems to be a load of old ex-superheroes walking around doing nothing but complaining. But I'll stick with it and hopefully I'll enjoy it more. So while last week was a bit kind of boring, this week and next week are going to be jam-packed. Because tonight we're going to see Radiohead for free. On Saturday night we're going out for dinner for Jason's birthday to Bamboo Gardens, which I'm excited about. Then after that we've got Shrek. Then the guys are coming back to the house to have a sleepover for Jason's birthday. Sunday Tim's making them brunch. And then the weekend after that is PAX for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're having a barbecue for Jack, and he's invited a whole load of people on Monday. On Tuesday we're going out for dinner with Jack, and then Wednesday's my last night. So it's going to be a pretty hectic 2 weeks from here on out. So you can hear all about it this time next week.